How big is this airship? If we've already gone up 4 levels.
Well, let me. I know this doesn't give you any sort of sense because honestly, I'm gonna say this airship is fucking huge. It's one of the biggest in Phalanstine. It's weird. It operates as a simultaneous luxury passenger ship, and it's also considered the flagship of the Phalanstine army. It is
the fucking Enterprise.
yeah. So it is essentially it's a dual nature ship. But I've kind of done a little bit of a sketch of the ship. So this is the kind of like helipad that you guys ended up at, and then like there are a few places that you wouldn't really know what there are, like the turrets. You wouldn't really be too keen on those in terms of that they actually exist. The cargo areas, you probably that's probably some of the first floors that you passed up. And then all the way up, you probably end up passing up this entirety, like 4 floors, and then you finally get to a place up here in which you can keep going up, or you can step off of the levitation funnel and into. As you look, you seem to see a bunch of like everyday normal people. You keep going.
I'm gonna say this time right now, for the kids' sake, we follow the rules.
Yeah. I'm just gonna follow Ferg.
Okay, do you keep going or do you actually step off?
Step off.
Okay.
Is there a sign or anything that says what level we're on?
It says Commons 1.
Commons 1. Is there a guard nearby?
There's not.
Or a steward or...
What level do they tell us to go to? Commons 3 or just Commons?
Just Commons.
Okay, I don't know.
So
why I got the number 3 in my head.
you step off and you sort of look around. Now, you can see a bunch of people who, of all, races, shapes, sizes. The type of person that you see probably in the majority are wizards. There are a lot of wizards as passengers on this particular flight. But
it's like being back at school again.
Yeah, but you also see that there are these. How do I describe this? There are these very well dressed, in uniform. I would almost say conductor-like, or not conductor-like, but like a kind of a tuxedo-ish.
Yeah.
Dress.
Maitre
d'. All following the same color scheme as Bogenschultz.
Cool. Go talk
and
to them.
their face is completely painted. Very similar to Bogenschultz, except not. It's much more neutral. Bogenschultz was like a very smiley in their paint job. These are much more neutral, and let's see, and they are, and you can see that like a lot of them are carrying trays.
Do they look like orcs as well? Closer inspection.
You don't know. The paint is their mouths are shut and the paint is just everywhere. Like they look humanoid, but other than that, like you have no idea. And they are all medium-sized humanoids. That I will say.
Is there one that looks like it's in charge or not?
Not that you see.
Okay. Ferg is gonna walk up to the first one that they see and say, "Hey, Dollface, where's the dining room?" Because they all have the same face.
And they sort of look at you, and they say, they open their mouth just a little bit, but their lips don't move. And you hear, "Welcome to the Sky Specter." And then it looks down the hallway and points down the hallway. "I believe what you're asking for is this way."
Thanks. What?
"Thank you
so
for
creepy.
experiencing the Sky Specter. Enjoy."
Keth is not
I wish
having
you
that. He's
for your
freaked out
voice
right
so that
now.
you wouldn't have to actually move your lips. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, right. I know. Only I was a ventriloquist.
Ferg just says, "Yeah, cool, thanks." Cat food's that way. Let's.
I don't know if we should drink the Kool-Aid here, dude.
They're rich wizards. It'll.
What if we can trade any of them for some healing potions?
Sure, but let's steak whiskey first.
Yeah. I don't have any money though.
I got you.
Cool.
And honestly,
Thank
feel
you
like
for
this is
experiencing
probably-
the Sky Specter.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
we can probably put it on Sparky's tab.
I feel like this is like a cruise
Cool.
ship, and you should just like. Yeah,
We're
you get it
Sparky's
for
personal
free.
bodyguards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like a convenient accidental lie. Apparently we're gonna get paid now.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like Cat is not like a liar. But...
I think it was like an in the moment, like he was like, shit, I don't think we
I know,
should get
that's what I'm
separated.
Yeah.
Well, and you can see it from Bogenschultz's point of view. Bodyguards,
Bodyguards get paid.
that they've ever experienced get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Keth was not thinking about money when he said it at all because
Yeah. How are you
Yeah.
getting paid, Keth? By honor.
the Mycelian will pay me greatly when I receive their honor.
Right,
Ferg was
right.
like, "Of course, these people are gonna pay me for taking care of the kid."
So you're seeing
Someone's gonna pay me for this shit.
off to
you're
the
seeing a
dining
lot
room.
of these waiters and concierge just sort of like milling back and forth, obviously waiting on people who are passengers.
Yeah.
Some people are looking at you as you're passing by because in a way you're like filthy and a little bloody.
Our clothes are definitely gross.
That's why we wear all black. Why aren't you wearing all black?
You're covered in pus.
One gentleman.
If you don't say it, they won't
Sorry.
notice.
One gentleman, an actual elderly elven gentleman, sees you go by and says, "The washroom is that way."
We don't need the washroom. We're hungry. We're gonna go eat.
Not according to this. And it's rather rude. It's rather rude, and some of the people hear that and they just some of them like kind of laugh, and then some of them be like, "Oh,
Keth is
God,
gonna step between you two and just say, "Thank you for allowing us to be in your space," and then just keep walking.
Ferg taps you on the shoulder. If you ignore them, they'll ignore you. Like, let's just go to the dining room. Leave the fogey alone.
Yeah.
And you're like, how is Ferg like not blowing up at this person?
Yeah, I was kind of worried.
You like reconciled yourself to
So you
Well, no, Ferg's super used to this. Like,
being in this environment.
Yeah.
You change modes. Yeah.
So you go to the dining area and you see two of those sort of concierges behind the bar, and they're cleaning up. There are a group of people talking over on the left. A couple of loners in here, perhaps drinking by themselves. One studious-looking halfling wizard in kind of a literal high chair, because this place is not built for short folk, and basically reading out of a book that's just like open and like floating in front of them. Lots of talking, lots of conversing, and the concierge looks at you as right when you come up and sort of slides some sort of a menu towards you and says, "Is there anything on the amenities list I may retrieve for you?"
Ferg grabs it and says, "We'll sit at the bar and let the bartender know." And just like is herding Keth towards the bar.
"I am that person. Please let me know when you know."
Sounds good. Just go sit at the bar. We're gonna sit down at the bar. Do the bartenders acknowledge us?
Well, they are the bartenders. You were talking to them.
So you said there was concierge person at the door.
Yeah, I didn't actually say at the door, but there is one at the
Okay.
door, and then there's two behind the bar. And
Okay.
when you approach the
So-
bar, that's who was talking to you.
Okay,
Okay.
so we sit down and then pick something to eat.
Yeah.
I feel like
Order.
Keth wouldn't recognize anything on the menu. So.
Yeah. Ferg is gonna order.
Everything is way too expensive. Just FYI.
It's going on Sparky's tab.
Yeah, I feel like
Lumia's
like,
tab.
I need
Yeah.
to tell. I need to tell like,
Bogey Schultz?
Bogey. I need to tell Bogey that. I just realized that's a Bogart. Okay. That to make sure that they don't have to pay for anything.
Okay. And how about we that's a natural just shift over
Yeah.
to you. So you're
I'm just realizing that. And
Saying
I'm, like,
that to
whispering into
Bogan
Bogey's
Schultz,
ear.
and Bogan Schultz says, "I will this I can absolutely arrange for you. How are you feeling?
You were really nice to me. I feel okay. I
This is why they're not dead yet. You understand that, right?
Oh shit.
what? What do you
I
mean?
knew
This
this
is why
was
they're
coming.
not dead yet. You realize that, correct? They have been nothing but integrous creatures that have guarded your person.
Yeah, two of them are dead though, and
And-
it's really.
And that I cannot help.
And Dad's not gonna get his wiener pills anymore.
Sweetie, of course he is. He's rich.
But this won't be as good.
But for right now, he'll just have to find another way. Like we all do.
Are they mad? I saw Joseph down there. I saw Joseph. He was attacking us, and I know that he's mad at me because I heard him, but I didn't mean to.
I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for everything. But we have to take a deep breath, and we have to ask the right questions. This is what I've always taught you. Ask the right questions.
So, what's Auntie gonna do to me? Is she gonna bring me home? How much trouble am I in? Do you know?
I'm not gonna lie. An extreme amount. That said, all I've ever known that your parents wanted for you was to keep you safe. And I'm sure that your auntie will go into the details when you next meet her. I'm more concerned that you get a good night's rest before you even venture to have a conversation with her. Does that sound
I
good?
thought we were gonna go see her now. What?
I redirected due to what I thought your needs would be. It seems as though you're rattled a bit. Is that not
Yeah,
right?
But just tell me the truth. I'm a big kid now. I can handle it. I've been out in the wild. I went to.
Well, what truth would you like,
forest.
sweetie? I would be glad to tell it to you.
Am I gonna go to jail?
No, but you're extremely, extremely, extremely in trouble. You're not gonna go to, sweetheart. You're like 13. You're not going to any sort of prison. That's just not realistic.
Is Joseph gonna try to kill me?
I am not certain of all of the details surrounding that. And as you are talking, you're being led to actually the same elevator, as the same sort of like lift funnel as they were. It was just that Bogan Schultz kind of walked over, and it was like they were sort of killing time until they kind of went up and did their thing. So then they bring you to the same lift elevator, and holding your hand, the guards go up first, and they go up, and then you both enter. And this is like nothing to you. This is like a normal thing, this sort of lift funnel. And you just know to think up. So
Yeah.
you just, and then as you're going up, you go past all the places where like they went past, and past all the common areas, common 1, common 2, common common 3, common 4. And then finally you get to this area where it is some kind of there's like the color differentiation is clear, right? Like you're in this area in which it's sort of like slightly tinged blue, and then up ahead there is this sort of like red, almost like a red tinged area that you know is a force field. And when you get to the force field, Bogenschultz pulls out some kind of like a tablet of a sort, and then just puts their fingers in a very specific fashion, and then raises it up and says some kind of an eldritch command word, and then that dissipates, and then you go past there, and then Bogenschultz says the same word but not touching the tablet, and then it reappears. And then you go up and up until you cannot go up any further, and you find yourself in the command room. But that whole journey, you're having a conversation.
Okay.
And so
to be honest, my spoiled ass just wants a little break. Like I'm like, this has been a lot for me, and I've been like injured in a bear trap, and I just want to go to sleep.
Right.
But you don't know how to say that to Bogey, which is why Bogey's like, no, why don't we just like go over here and like rest for? And you're like, no, I want to talk to my aunt.
Well,
yeah,
Bogenschultz is a master at knowing what you want, even before you do. And you also know that there have been many, many times in which you've turned down the tears, and Bogenschultz seems to be like immune, like, certain dragons are immune to fire, and Bogenschultz is immune to tears.
I'm not like manipulative. Like I'm
That's
really like distraught, and like I've
Yeah.
been caught by the people that I ran away from. I've been on a crazy adventure, and I'm like now being brought to justice, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
And really, like Bogenschultz is doesn't react to your tears. Let's just say that, whether they're real or not.
Right. Yeah.
Which in this case they are. They're just very trained to just like deal with the matter at hand. And so they bring you to they bring you up to the control center, and you can see you've actually been up here before. Like it's like, and as a kid, it's like the coolest thing to exactly. And you see all of the people that are like operating this big airship, and they're all that they don't communicate outwardly. You know that they're all linked telepathically. So these command rooms are oddly silent, like creepily silent, even though there's a lot going on, a lot of communication. And ahead, looking out the big front window, you can see the back of your aunt. But she has not moved, and Bogenschultz ushers you the opposite way to some of the sort of spare bedrooms up in here, which are like well appointed and very, very finely furnished.
Okay. But you're gonna make sure my friends are taken care of, right? They need a good rest too.
100%.
What about Ren and time? I don't.
Sweetheart, you know that I cannot answer those questions. They may be dead, and you have to face that
Time's
reality.
up for them.
I promise you that I will never lie to you, even when it's
That one was
difficult.
unintentional.
Is it my fault?
No. Everybody takes their life into their own hands in this world.
I feel like at that, like I feel so relieved by what she just said, or what they just said. I just start to like pass out, like before I'm even like at the bed.
Yeah, and like even if you're just like even if you're passing out, maybe you're not even quite near the bed. Bogenschultz basically like catches you and like tucks you in, and you go to sleep.
Okay.
So you guys finally pick something on the menu, and well aware that like the prices are like astronomically high, and so you say and yeah.
Ferg says to the bartender, Lumia July will be taking care of this tab for us.
And so
just like
the
totally nonchalant
bartender, let me see if that can be accomplished. And then they go over to some kind of a round stone that's very, very smooth. It almost feels like hematite. And they begin to like type in these areas, and they kind of light up in certain ways. And then there's a little bit of a flashing on one, and then they look down and they say, "That could be accomplished for you, honored passenger. Would you like anything else? It will be covered under Angelica July's tab." Or no, did you say
we said Lumia.
Yeah, so they say that. They say Lumia July's tab.
Ferg spies a really nice bottle. Not like top shelf bottle, but like
something that he likes.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked up is that you look to the top shelf, and these bartenders are so responsive.
Yeah.
The first thing that the other one says is something from the top shelf.
Ferg's like, no, that would be a waste, and points at like a mid-range bottle of something really good. And is like, Kath, you'll really like this. It's not too over the top. We can have some of this while we wait for our steaks.
Okay. Kath's never really had alcohol before.
Oh,
like
shit.
on that. Well, I mean, they drink stuff in the forest, but it's very like
herbally,
like
medicinal.
herbal, like and like lower like alcohol content, like type like wine type things and meats. Not
So you
like...
said something from that shelf, and but then you started talking to Kath right away, and it just looks at you and says, "I do not fully understand the question. Please repeat the question."
We would like to share a bottle of the Mayataki whiskey.
Mayataki whiskey.
And
16 years of age.
Yep, that one.
And they sort of slide out a small ladder and get up on it and grab the bottle and put the bottle there. Give you two very fine glasses. Would you like any food?
We'll have... You eat meat?
Yeah.
We'll have 2 boar steaks, medium, mashed potatoes.
Our mashed potatoes come with celery root. Is that amenable?
Sure.
Coming right up, honored guest.
Thanks. Oh, can we have 2 ice cubes for these glasses? And then we'll be good for now. So yeah, I introduce you to the joys of mushroom whiskey.
Kath is a lightweight.
Yeah. And Ferg is in no way trying to get you drunk.
I knew that was gonna happen eventually.
Oh, I did it. I thought it was you. Okay.
And
So I feel like Ferg is gonna push the limits without like actually going over too far on this meal. So it's gonna be a good like 2.5 hour like we're gonna sit down and enjoy this shit because I don't
and try some other stuff.
I don't get to do this very often unless like somebody else is paying, and I didn't actually have to put up for it in any way.
Well, I mean, we both almost died multiple times.
Yeah,
there's also that.
Yeah. Keth is really stoked in trying all the desserts because he's like a cook. He likes to cook. So anything that like looks interesting to him on the menu, he's like, "Ooh, can we try this too, Ferg? Can we try this?"
And Ferg,
like the drunker he gets, like the more things he wants to try.
And Ferg is just like explaining the entire menu and like ingredients that you have never heard of.
Yeah,
and,
I'm just like my mind is being
telling
blown.
you where it comes from and who grows it and like where the best place to grow it is.
I'm imagining a scenario in which you guys, like both of you are letting go in a way, realizing that there's no monetary cap on like you keep ordering stuff and nobody's telling you no.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think the drunker that Keth gets, the more like his inhibitions are gone. He stops like thinking about it as like monetary value because he doesn't really he doesn't care about money. So like to him, it's just like food, you know, like
Yeah.
Trying new things.
And
yeah, it's like it's like an experience.
Ferg understands, but also knows that like the people paying for this, like
there's no
this is nothing to them. Mm-hmm. But after about like 4 hours and Keth is really drunk and Ferg is like half tipsy and like shit, I didn't mean to get you this
also
drunk.
I'm sure the two of us could eat so much food.
Probably.
So in the middle of all this, there was this very conspicuous area that was it was kind of in like the corner.
Yeah,
of
where all those people were.
Of an area. No, like not behind the bar, but like farther past, kind of like off in a corner. It was like oddly built into the wall, and it was very, very empty, save for a couple of musical instruments that were on stands that were not being used. And in about like 15 minutes after all of this, you start ordering food, and you start getting the food, and you start getting a little tipsy. A very like tall and beefy built, golden, like ruggedly golden skinned, like not golden but like bronzish skinned half orc comes out and basically sits in that area and starts to pop on, basically like attach some instruments, and she's basically doing 2 instruments at once, kind of Dick Van Dyke style. And she begins to play a very relaxing and melodic, sort of a Enya-like tune.
Sweet, we're in a piano bar that plays good music.
Fuck yeah.
Keth can play one, yeah. He can play wind instruments, but he has a horn that he plays.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And so that's now sort of like accompanying like some of the people who are talking around you. That kind of falls away, and you're still engaging in conversation with the both of you. But that music is always prevalent, and it's never too loud to be distracting. It's just right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm enjoying it.
I feel like I'm just looking. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this right now, but like, in some weird way, you're like super drunk and like kind of and enthusiastic and excited, and like in order. So this is under the heading of I must prove my worth to the Mycelian. You like want to go play with this person.
Just go prove my musical prowess.
Yeah.
Berg talks you out of that really.
I was gonna say I feel like Ferg wouldn't let me do that. You like
Berg
take
is
my
like,
horn
no. I'll hold on to that.
Actually, so how many inspiration points do you have?
I have 1. If don't I have to do it? Otherwise, I use all my inspiration points.
Correct. So Keth is otherwise insistent that they go out.
Persuasion, I guess. Like I'm really gonna try really hard to talk them out of
Okay,
this.
go for it.
What should I contest it with? Insight on.
I'm just gonna say it's the flat DC 16 because you're drunk.
You totally ignored me.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I make a performance roll?
Yeah.
I feel like you should.
Can I make it an advantage since I'm drunk?
No.
My inhibitions are lowered and I'm ready.
But your
have-
acumen is that much lower as well.
I'm proficient in it.
Are you?
I'm proficient in my instrument. Yeah.
Well, then that will be enough. I feel like you're basically going to be rolling. Yeah, just your performance skill.
Okay, because my performance is -1. That's why I was like.
Oh fuck.
Wait, why is your performance -1?
I don't know. Because I had charisma. I have an 8. Yeah,
but your instrument. Oh, okay, I got it. I understand. So, what is the bonus of your instrument?
I don't know. It just said I was proficient in.
What's your proficiency bonus? It's +2, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So then I get +2 to my
that, and then it's a wind instrument. Mm-hmm. So, what would you say that would be under dexterity, perhaps?
Yeah.
So, what's your dexterity?
My dexterity is +2.
Plus 2, so +4.
So 10.
Okay, so you...
This is not turning out well.
It'll be okay.
You...
Ferg pulls out a book.
Get up.
Like, I don't
You get
know
up
him.
there,
I don't know
and
him.
you kind of
When
like...
I get up, I'm gonna say, I dedicate this song to my buddy Ferg the Barbarian. Right over there, red pencil wielder, tomb tosser. He's a great guy.
And
Ferg is just reading it like...
Are you embarrassed?
Ferg doesn't know how to be embarrassed.
Okay,
But
well,
Ferg is like...
you notice that
why
the
is
bard that is
everyone...
already playing music
Yeah.
is horribly embarrassed and barely holds it together in terms of the performance.
So Ferg is like, to the bartender, like, can you... send a bottle of my Itaki whiskey to the bard. Can you grab somebody to persuade my friend to come back over here? He's never been in a place like this. He doesn't quite know how to act. And he's not listening to me.
I will take each of those questions one at a time. Firstly, that I can accomplish for you, honored passenger. Secondly, I'm sorry, I am unable to fulfill your request, honored passenger. Is there anything else?
Fuck.
At this point,
I don't
Keth is
understand.
loudly blaring his horn and dancing around behind the bard and trying to accompany her, but he doesn't know the song.
Okay, but even though you're not,
I
if you
really
don't,
wish
even though you don't know the song, you hit the right keys.
Yeah, it's like
It's a
really
bit-
scattered jazz behind like an
Yeah.
actual
It's
song.
a bit aggressive. Like you're hitting the notes
It's-
a bit aggressively. So that's like the downside. So like you end up being way louder than the bard is actually attempting to like lay out.
Mm-hmm.
And so when all is said and done,
Sorry,
and
Connor.
go ahead and give yourself an inspiration point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when all is said and done,
I really kind of want to just go up there and drag her off stage, but I don't
There's
want to
a-
cause a scene.
there's a loose clapping. It seems to be a little bit it's like scattered. Like some people are just clapping because like etiquette demands it. Like, and then some people are like, oh, that was actually like weirdly good. And so there, but it's a lot more of people just like not understanding what's going on. And the bard has a very genuine and graceful smile on her face, like bowing and like smiling, and leans over to you and grabs you underneath the arm and really pulls you in with a surprising
Strength.
like a really surprising strength.
Ooh, you're
And-
strong for a little fella.
And she says, shh, 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 shh. If you ever do that again, I will kill you. And with it's just all smiling, it's just whispering, don't answer me back, just smile. And then lets you go.
That sobers Keth up a little bit, and he'll say, like, apologies for the intrusion.
What did I say about not saying anything? No, seriously, walk away.
He goes and sits back down by Ferg.
What the fuck was that? I told you not to go up there, and
You inspired me, friend.
I didn't inspire you. I fed you.
I do not understand.
We would like to go to bed now. Are there rooms that we could?
That I can accomplish for you, honored passenger. Give me, and then their eyes roll up in their head, and then they come back. 7 minutes.
Cool.
I wonder where Sparky is.
Well, I mean, she's got the book, so I have to get it back from her. But we'll see her in the morning.
They say.
Well, otherwise we'll just murder everybody on the ship.
And he's kind of being unself-aware, but he's like, I don't know about you, but I kind of get the creeps here, man.
We're going to start things up by saying that all of you have gained a long rest, and you're gaining a level.
Whoa!
What?
The heck?
So that is what we're doing right now.
Fuck yeah, motherfuckers.
So for hit points, you have two options. You can either roll for it, or you can take the high average. So for example, for Sparky, your high average being on a 6-sided die, your high average is 4 plus your con bonus. So if you were to take the high average, you would...
What? How? Okay, sorry, explain this to me for a second.
Well, the normal average for a 6-sided die is 3, or technically 3.5. So basically, the high average is 4 on a 6-sided die.
4 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
For me hitting someone or me taking hits?
Hit points are your hit points. So right now you
I
have 7.
So me leveling up involves me rolling a 6-sided die or taking the high.
Average, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally.
Both of which you would add your Constitution modifier. So your Constitution modifier is +1.
Okay.
So you're either doing 4 + 1 is 5, or you're rolling a d6 +1, and whatever you get is what you get.
I think I'm gonna take a fucking 5.
There you go.
So I'm leveling up to 12 hit points, or that's just I'm leaving my Constitution.
Yeah,
modifier?
7 + 5 is 12. So now your maximum hit points is 12.
So this should.
Do you not have a Constitution plus? Is that why?
It's +1.
It's +1, but.
Oh,
so,
her average is 4.
So that's gonna be okay.
I rolled a 6. Plus
Okay. I'm not gonna argue against.
Yeah.
More hit points. So. Yeah. Yes, please.
Are you taking high average, or are you?
I am taking high average, which puts me at...
I just figured why not roll? We rolled with all that random for everything earlier.
I'll probably, as we level, pick one or the other. But I now have 25 hit points.
Jesus. Yes,
It's
you
7
are the muscle.
7 plus my con modifier, which is...
Fuck yeah! Got unarmored
I think
movement.
we're gonna hire the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad.
I am the Brute Squad.
I have 20 hit points now, guys.
I don't know what it is.
What?
And I have 40 feet of movement.
Oh right. What's font of magic?
Well, read it.
Okay, I will. What are sorcery points?
It'll read.
Alright, okay,
it'll
yeah.
tell you.
Alright.
You just gotta.
Yeah, you gotta just kind of read through it, muscle through it.
Sorcery points are fun. Remember to use them.
Yes.
Because I didn't use them.
I do actually know about this, but
Yeah. I didn't use them to my advantage when I last played a sorcerer.
And why don't you hand me? Can you hand me a player's handbook over there?
Yeah.
Schleen.
I just got reckless attack.
Sorry.
Your name always reminds me of Terra Sentia from Willow. Schleen. Sorry.
That's fair. I had friends that used to call me Schleen Dion all the time.
Oh, did you punch your friend's dad?
That's funny.
He just cracked me up every time. He was a really weird guy, but he's really cool.
So, here's what you all have to know about sorcery points: is that your sorcery points from here on out will, let me double check my math here, will always be equal to your level.
Oh, that's easy.
So, and now that you're second level, you gain another spell that you know, a first level spell.
Okay.
And you gain another first level spell slot. So you can now cast 3 first level spells per, long rest. And I'm anxious to know what you chose.
What is this danger sense?
Ooh, danger sense is awesome.
When you switch levels, were you talking something about switching out? Switching something?
Yeah, you can actually take a first level spell and swap it out for another first level spell. You can do that one time each time you gain a level, if you would like.
All right. I don't know if I want to, but.
Yeah. And then your.
I got key points.
What's that?
Oh.
Or key points, or key points.
Key points, yeah.
Key
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
And so I can do either Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, or Step of the Wind. And I have 2 of them that I can regain after 30 minutes of meditation.
Yep. And your movement goes up 10 feet.
Yeah, and I got 10 feet of unarmored movement.
We have our movement back, right?
What do you mean?
Yeah, we got healed all the way.
Yes, you got healed all the way. Yep.
I did not.
So my movement's 40 feet now. And I have 20 hit points because I rolled a 6 on the d8 and then +3, so my constitution's +3.
Damn, we are the Brute Squad.
Yeah. You two are definitely the muscle for sure.
Yeah. And do you want me to say what my things are, or do you want me to just let that happen as I do them?
What do you mean your things?
Like the Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and stuff.
No, I mean I know what they are, but you can just kind of bust that out as we go along.
Because Flurry of Blows gives you a second attack at this point, right?
So
I can make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action, so I can basically punch twice after instead of punching once.
Yeah.
Yep. And not only that, but you can also... wait, as a bonus action you can do that?
Yeah, it says immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Yeah, so essentially getting 3 attacks in 1 round.
Because normally I get 2 every turn.
And at 5th level, that would move up to 4 attacks in 1 round.
Yeah, and I get more, like, stuff. Like, later at 4th level, looks like I get slow fall, which would have been useful falling into a pit. But, you know, maybe I'll learn. That's why my character decides to learn that.
Yeah, I don't get an extra attack until 5th level.
No one does. Well, unless, like, if you were using an off-handed weapon, anyone can use their off-handed attack to gain a second attack. Anyone. Like, even a wizard could do that.
But since I've been using the red pencil, I don't have an offhand.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
And it does so much damage when you hit. It's like...
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, what is it? 2d6 plus...
2d6 plus 5 when I rage.
Yeah. It's...
And do rage bonuses go up as you...
I haven't looked at the barbarian yet.
I don't think they do.
The rage damage bonus doesn't go up until, like, 9th level.
Yeah, so it's the damage bonus that goes up.
I got some research to do. Do I just decide on this now?
It would be preferable, but how about this? Are you going to switch out magic missile or shield?
I don't see why I would do that.
So, pick something now, and then if for whatever reason, like by next session, you're like, no, I really don't want that, then we can just switch it out, and then that will be your end spell. Do you need any feedback on what would be good? Because I can give you some of that.
Well, I'm looking at... what's the poison?
What the fuck is that?
I'm looking at Ray of Sickness and False Life. I've been hit pretty hard. I think some False Life.
So
it's also like in line with the Necro Thrall.
Well, but here's the thing though: is don't be afraid to like strike out on your own because you are very your powers are not from a sort of your parents' sort of studious background. It's a very different thing.
Right.
False Life would be good. But you could also plan on, just as who you are, like keeping at a distance and like trying not to engage in getting in like the...
Hasn't really worked out for me so well.
I mean, true, and at the same time, like I think the time that you went unconscious, it's because you dove into the pit.
Right.
So that wasn't because you went up in the front.
Can I say from a fun perspective, but also could be useful, Thunderwave, especially with I feel like with Sparky's character, just like
letting
not
out a burst
really being not being in control, or just
What's
like
the range on that?
itself to 15 feet, and it's
like a cone, I think.
It's a cube.
Oh, is it a cube?
Yeah. It's fun. I used it a couple times.
Here it is. That's the description for it.
Another one that's actually rather interesting is Expeditious Retreat.
Yeah, I was just going to look at that.
The reason why that's interesting is that it's a bonus action spell.
Okay.
Oh, those are always good to have.
And it lasts a long time. It's a concentration spell, but basically like you cast that and then suddenly it's like you whisk yourself away because I think you can move inside of that bonus action as well. That's an interesting one in terms of just being useful and kind of a inside of your toolbox kind of thing. Disguise Self has its definite positive applications. Comprehend languages. We've all decided, I think, in terms of all of the groups that I play with, that color spray is not great. It's just a not great spell.
I had it for a minute and never used it.
Yeah. Charm Person is an interesting spell, but what you have to know about that is that when the person is done being charmed, they instantly know that you cast a spell and charmed them, so that's sometimes good or not good. If you don't care about that, then that's awesome. Burning Hands is a decent spell if you're caught in like melee range. You can just like it's like a fan spell where you put your
Don't
hands
you
up.
have burning hands already?
No, I have shotgun grasp.
Oh.
Which is pretty good.
That's true, but burning
Both are
hands
pretty-
will automatically hit.
Shocking grass you have to
Shocking
roll
grass?
for. Right?
Shopping grass, you have to roll a d20, and if you hit, then you do damage. So
burning hands will automatically.
it'll automatically hit, and it'll force like someone have to make a dexterity saving throw, and they can take half damage. But it's
not making this easier. This is hard.
Well,
Yep.
like just pick one that you think will be like fun, and then
I don't know
like
why
Bill said,
I
if you're not
liked
liking it, then change it before next time.
Ooh, chromatic orb would be another Sparky spell.
Oh yeah. Chromatic orb's a really good one. We should check that one out. Because I feel like that one's one of those ones that gives you, I think you might have passed the page, gives you options.
It's on 221.
Sorry. I'll let you do your thing. Dude, at 5th level I get an extra attack, and at 9th level I can run on water and up vertical surfaces. As part of my freedom of movement. How fucking cool is that?
That's really cool.
Pretty fucking cool.
I love that I'm like so giant and so graceful.
Yeah. You're the kung fu half dragon that nobody wants to meet.
Right?
Yeah. Here's
Ooh, I like that.
interesting one out of Xanthar's Guide to Everything is absorb elements. So you can basically like if you're hit by a certain element, you can cast that spell as a reaction, so outside of your turn.
What's the damage?
You absorb. Well, you don't do any damage right away. It says the spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage until the start of your next turn, meaning you take half damage from. So if you absorb fire, then until your next turn, you have resistance against fire. And then also the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target takes an extra d6. Okay, that may not be good because you're not a melee fighter or whatever, but you do an extra d6 at that damage. All right.
Chromatic orb seems actually really cool.
Can I say, since
Isn't
you're
that the one where you
chaos,
can do pick different things that
Yeah.
the orb does?
Yeah.
It's kind of
magician,
chaotic.
or sorcerer looking at chaos bolt.
Oh, out of Xanathar's?
Yeah.
What does that do?
You hurl an undulating, warbling mass of chaotic energy at one creature in range. You make a ranged spell attack. On hit, target takes 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. Choose one of the d8s. The number rolled on that die determines the attack's damage type, as shown below.
Huh.
And you get acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, poison, psychic, or thunder.
That sounds like what I did to my brother.
Yeah, that honestly, just reading that sounds like Sparky.
Sounds like
You like
Sparky,
acided his face. Just melted.
But you didn't mean to. You were just like, get away, and then like,
Yeah, chaotic like that. Yeah, chaotic or chromatic orb sounds great, but like I feel like I shouldn't have that much control over what I'm doing. Maybe I can switch it out later for chaotic or chromatic orb.
Or get chromatic orb later if you still like
I have
it.
a request, so and maybe I can carry this on to future level ups. But if I don't switch something out, I can switch out 2 things next time. Once I level up.
Nope.
Come on.
That's breaking it too hard.
Come on.
Chaos bolt.
Chaos bolt. Can I see it real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably like take a picture of it or something.
Listen,
Write
it's
it down.
it's gonna be
Oh,
very
you did?
unlikely that you're going
I don't
to
have that one.
end up with something that you really dislike that intensely. So I wouldn't worry about it. That said,
I'm totally out.
here is a nice cheat sheet if you choose that spell.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks. There's a little thingy-majigger. Undulating marble. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
What are the
seems
types
like,
of
right?
damage it does?
Any type.
Any type.
That's fucking cool.
And
Except
one,
for, like,
so one of the
piercing.
d8s. You choose one of the d8s. Do you get to like the target takes both the d8s
Plus the d6.
plus the d6.
But then, and I feel like it should probably be Bill or one of us choosing which d8.
Maybe someone could just roll a third d8. That
So
makes it more
before you roll the
chaotic.
damage, you need to call like, okay, this color D8 is the type of energy that it is.
Oh, that works.
Yeah, that works.
Then it's random.
Yeah, because then
Like
You
this
just got to be a
D8's
little bit more
it's actual
intentional with
chaos.
that one.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that's and this just works for level
It's
1 spells.
level 1 sorcerer spell.
That's a dope
Okay.
level 1 spell, dude. That's so much damage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
That's so much
like
fucking
that.
damage. That's cool. Sorcerers are dope.
Thank you.
I need to buy my own copy of Xanathars.
Dude, they're so cheap on Amazon right now. They're like,
I know.
like
I fucking went into
$18.
Guardian last night because I was trying to return because I got him the art of D&D, the one that goes. And I got him like the special edition because that's all they had. And it was like $120.
Yeah.
And I went back. It was like pristine. All we did was take the packaging off.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, you can only have 25% back of what like." And I was like, "Fuck you, no!" And they gave me 75% back.
The
Still,
art
like,
one?
You pay
Yeah.
so much more like to buy it from there, and I know
That
it's
place,
wonderful.
those
like,
guys are, dude, they like upcharge on everything.
like super, and I know
they're
understand
kind
like
of jerks.
Because
about it.
but here's the thing, is they have to. Like, Amazon has built their company. I mean, like...
the size of that building, that rent must be crazy.
No,
and
and
there
I
were
feel
people
that,
playing
but-
D&D, and like they were doing some weird stuff, and somebody was like sobbing and crying. Like it was like it was a moving moment. And so they're a community center. They are like
I feel you.
they're
definitely.
doing good things, but like
Yeah.
they were kind of shitty.
But they're really shitty. Like if you try to sell things to them, they like give you really bad prices, and then they
5-day return
upcharge on
policy.
things so
5 day.
high.
5 day.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I keep meaning
Sorry,
to
Guardian
go.
Games.
Yeah,
I don't
we
want,
need to cut
please
this
edit
out.
that.
Let's edit this out.
I keep meaning to go to the one on Killingsworth. I forgot what it's called.
Portland Game
Oh.
Store.
Portland Game Store.
Portland
It's
Game
funny.
Store.
It's got like a kind of skeezy feel to it.
It
but
from the
I like
outside,
it.
yeah, it does.
I've never had
Yeah,
a
I
skeezy
kinda
feel
like
from
that,
it.
though.
Every time I've gone in there, like there's been like middle schoolers playing in there.
Oh, that's great. No,
My
it's
friend-
just like a
My friend
strip
Tara
mall.
works at Portland Game Store.
Oh,
They just got hired. She just got hired a little while ago.
It's a cool place.
And she's also part of the Speak of the Devil podcast
Yeah.
from Infinity Break. I know Tara through New Seasons, but they don't work there anymore. And then Tara also knows Will through Oregon Country Fair. So there's like
Oh,
this.
okay, cool.
Okay, please edit
multi-
out all of my shit talking about game stores.
But they're not gonna keep this in the middle of us playing. Hopefully.
Sorry, I'm not being very conscious. I'm a little slow today.
No, it's totally fine. And honestly, like a lot of the game stores are, I feel bad for them because they have to compete with they have to compete with Amazon, and Amazon's prices are like you can't compete against that.
yeah.
You're basically like paying money at Guardian or at Portland Game Store for like the local experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's unfortunately what you're paying for because they can't afford it any other way.
Right, but when the local experience is so bad, like we don't go in and play, and maybe we should do that, but like we don't go in and play, and like the local experience is a shitty experience.
I agree, only and not because of the people that work there and not because of the space. It's because of the fact that I can't control my environment, and I've always been like that. Like because we're doing the podcast right now, or the YouTube thing. Like I otherwise I would be playing music. Like, and I would actually tailor the soundtrack to like fit the music.
I missed that part.
I miss that too, you know,
I do
and
miss that.
it's one sacrifice that that I feel like I have to make, and it's a sacrifice that like I'm asking you all to make. My plan in the future is to be able to afford wireless earbuds and giving you all one, basically giving you two, but having you just have one in it, and having some music actually playing in the background, and having that music be like Mark Jondel's that he's like catered to specifically create for this show.
Yeah.
That's the plan, but until then, it's just kind of, you know, like trying to keep the energy up, trying to keep you know, like everything like moving and motivating, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
I'm
So
playing
as we
enough
level up
with
to do
music
that.
to miss it, so I feel
You're
fortunate.
you're doing a bang up job without the music anyway.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I feel great.
Did you read on this that if you roll the same number on both d8s, the chaotic energy leaps from the target to a different creature on your choice within 30 feet of it?
What?
Oh, I didn't
No.
read that.
So you switch targets.
No, it's
But
you
you go
affect
30
both targets.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's like
If what?
If
and
you
it-
If you roll the
basically roll-
same number,
Yeah, basically if you roll.
like go
Oh,
fish.
Oh yeah, exactly. So if you roll 3 and 3 on the d8s.
Oh, so any doubles does that. Dude,
This is awesome.
you picked the fucking.
That's-
That spell is
Within
that
30
spell
feet
is
of it, but-
overpowered.
Oh, the range is
but in
120.
a great way.
And Xanathar's it says it's 90 feet, I think.
Then go with Xanathars. Those have been known to be wrong.
Let me sure.
Yeah. Like
I think I
on
might have
the
been
on
looking
the
at
card
chaos.
for spiritual weapon.
No,
like,
it's 120.
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. I can say way the fuck back.
Yeah.
That's far.
it is far.
I
Yeah,
could have
we
done
got
Dude,
it.
if you
I
get
could've
like
bolted
if
the
you take the
Zapline.
feet later 2 spell sniper, that doubles anything
What?
that if you take the feet later spell sniper, it doubles distance of damage roll spells. Like anything that you would roll damage to. I had it on my bard. It was great. So like
Wow.
240 feet, you can cast a chaos bolt on somebody.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if I can conceive of 240 feet.
Well,
Also,
my
the
bard is
damage
so
scales
OP.
up pretty
My
well too.
passive perception is 25.
Yeah, it adds on a d6,
Also
right?
got
Yeah,
the
d6
observant
per
feat.
level.
I don't
yeah.
know what that is.
So like if you
Feats are
cast Chaos Bolt at 5th level, you get a 4 extra d6 on there.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, scaling
That's, like,
up it.
painful.
That's scaling up like magic missile scales up, but yeah, way more painful.
All right. I
But-
think that's a good.
But the interesting thing about that spell though is that you cast it, you have to hit. If you don't hit, it's wasted. That's the big gamble right there.
Yeah, it's a
isn't
ranged
that,
attack
like,
spell.
Isn't that pretty?
Well, some
like,
ranged attack spells are just like
Is
that,
it
right?
is it
Yeah.
dexterity based then?
It's
Because
No,
that's
it's,
based off of
AC.
where's your spell slot spell sheet
I don't know.
right
It's in your
there.
hand.
So it's based off of that right there.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
you
not
roll
too
and
add
bad,
that
right?
to it.
So in other words, that's a good thing to use it with.
Yeah. Goes what? They
The,
go well
the
together.
coin of
feel like.
tides of chaos. Yeah.
Do I get this back now?
Oh yeah. You get it back on every long rest, or if I actually give it back to you because I'm forcing you to like do the wild magic thing. Oh, and by the way,
You have-
your dagger is still glowing. It has not
Okay.
faded.
Okay. Nobody's noticed that, or they're just like not mentioning it.
Magic dagger. I think we all just kind of got, we were falling in a pit and then like floating through the sky.
Well, how about this? Let's
Wake me up.
let's say that you wake up and you can decide whether or not Sparky realizes like the inherent changes that have happened inside of her, like little level up or whatever, but really you feel the same as you did before.
I feel like I would feel a little like I feel really well rested, and I feel a lot better than I did the day before. So maybe I feel
Little pep in your step?
but not like. I feel like I don't know if I should feel like a mixture of like anxious, but also at home,
Yeah.
like a weird ambivalence.
And you feel like you have something inside you, sorcery points, that may that's like quantifiable 2 points, but like that you can't really put your finger on, but you can as 2 points.
So those can count as extra spell slots, right?
It has the exchange rate in the book, so I would
Fucking shit.
yeah.
I think it's 2 points for a first level spell slot.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's one extra spell theoretically.
It's basically one extra
Okay.
spell slot.
Plus, then you've got 10 slots in your deck.
It'll get more complex as you go up levels.
Yeah.
It'll get more complex as you
Those
go
are
up levels
finite,
because you
I
can
could totally get off this ship.
because you can use sorcery points to use meta magic powers, and you can also use sorcery points.
I read a little bit about this.
So and then you can also take some of your spell slots that you have, and you can convert those back into sorcery points in order to use meta magic. So it's like
I don't know what
you can
meta
flip it back and forth. But right now, all
Okay.
you can use it for is like creating another spell slot. I think that's
Okay.
like the only
Yeah.
thing.
Meta magic happens at 3rd level?
Okay, I need to do
I don't
the
know.
research.
I think
now.
so.
Yeah. Research meta magic because they're like twin spell and stuff like that are really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, meta magic's awesome. So you wake up and you kind of roll out of your plush satiny bed and stretch. And these beds are like human size, so it's like you're in the middle of like you're like drowning in
Like
a sea
king
of
size.
It's
comfort.
like Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
Warbuck's house.
yep.
Double California King.
And
Dude,
and you wake up and
my bed's probably too small.
you wake up and suddenly a stream of something wet hits you in the face. And then it stops. And then it goes again. And you hear She's awake. I know she's awake. I see her.
What's going on?
I'll be outside. Okay, I'll stay in here. And it's you recognize the voices. It's your two cousins, Blake and Cleaver.
Cleaver.
Man, Cleaver stays inside. He's got a squirt gun.
At least it's a squirt gun.
I know. I was thinking, dude, she just got peed on.
That's exactly where I went.
Squirt gun.
Cleveland stuffs. What the? Oh,
Wake up, Peck.
What's your problem? I just got back from an epic adventure that you wouldn't even understand, and you're squirting me in the face.
Is that
So disrespectful.
Is that code for I ran away? Because that's all Mom's gonna hear.
Oh, I forgot. I have to talk to your mom.
Damn right you do. You got some splaining to do to Lucy.
How old is this little shit?
He is about 3 or 4 years older than you.
And he calls his mom Lucy.
But like, I'm older, like, because for what's it called? But like, so like just a little bit more mature than me.
Yeah.
What's my relationship with my aunt like?
She's always been kind and fair. She's not. She's certainly not the disciplinarian that your mother is.
Okay.
So she's sort of let you run amok a lot more than your mom. In essence, she kind of spoils you a bit more. She likes doting on you. She's only got these two jackasses, so just having like a
she's got a little soft spot for me.
Yeah. You're kind of like almost a surrogate daughter to her.
Okay.
That said, there are times in which you've gotten in trouble and she's really let you have it. So, and she's a, she's a life steward. And she takes her vows very seriously. And she also takes her loyalty to her family very seriously.
Does she consider me family even though I'm not blood kin?
Through treatment, yes, but she's never told you that directly to your face. So she's treated you like family.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know how she really feels.
Proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Okay. All right.
If anything, in terms of like treatment, you've always felt like she's treated you more like family than your actual mother, than Angelica.
Okay. Where is she? Do I have to like?
She's in the control room. You know that, freak.
Is she like free, or is she in zombie?
No,
mode?
she's never free. She's operating a zeppelin.
Do I need to talk to her right now? Are you summoning me?
Yeah, she's fucking pissed, man. You gotta talk to her. She's pissed. You're oh my god, you get it. You're gonna so get
just,
it.
Like, Lindsay, like, feel like my little dagger pulsing, and like I just want to like, I know I can do this. Like I've been.
That's the thing though, is when you look towards your dagger, it's gone.
Well, okay, I'm really anxious, which makes me pull on mage armor inadvertently.
Yeah.
Because no.
Cleaver notices that by spraying another spray of the water gun and it kind of like not going on you. He's like, oh fuck.
What can I do? Can I just like push past him and kind of inadvertently kind of shock him a little bit? Like just like get out of my face.
Sure.
Okay. You're such a cretin. Cleaver cretin. Go away.
And you inadvertently shock him a little bit, but it's maybe a little more than you would have liked, and he takes like 3 damage and like jolts up against the wall and like hits the ground. He's like, oh god, his hair's standing up and telling Mom.
Oh god.
And and his skin's smoking a bit. He's like helping himself up. He's trying to pull himself up.
I'm starting to feel really.
You're
anxious.
a fucking asshole.
I shut the door, and I feel like I want to like shocking grasp the door, like lock it somehow. Like I don't know how to do it, but I just want to like melt it into like.
So
can't get out.
So you step out of the door. You shut the door.
Shut the door, and I like.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna say you
locked.
basically use the power of like firebolt, but you hold it in your hand, and you.
Yeah.
But I am gonna say that firebolt. Go ahead and roll a d10. No, a d10. That's a 12.
Oh, sorry. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Well, that's a percent, but it's okay.
You take 3 damage just to your hand while you do that, because you're certainly not immune to the fire. You usually throw it.
Oh, okay.
But it's and you can you through your anger you just grit through because you're just like fuck this little shit, you know.
I'm like I have to go deal with this, and I can't deal with him telling on me more than what I've already.
And you already hear sort of a thump. You fucking bitch! Like, yeah, and you hear like the shaking of the door handle that just simply won't ever open ever again.
It's not hot on the other side.
What?
I said it's not hot on the other side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna like just like sprint up to the cockpit or whatever, the control room.
Yeah, it's not far. You can literally sprint up there in like 30 seconds.
Like I'm just gonna get this over with and just like throw the door open.
And there's no doors to throw open. It's actually just like a series of like there's a hallway and then it enters into a wide open area and you enter into that area that I say is like sort of eerily quiet as you know that like everyone's like telepathically communicating and guiding the Zeppelin where it needs to go. And you see the back of your aunt as she stands, arms folded, facing out, just...
Okay, I slow down and like enter the room and like the quiet descends upon me and I like kind of creep up.
You've always imagined that guiding one of these ships as they are and as this sort of scene is laid out, it always seems very peaceful.
Okay, so I'm a little more calm. And I go up behind my aunt and I just like touch her elbow.
And she flinches a bit. She says, "Hello, sweetie. How was your rest?"
She takes a drink of whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like floating like 4 feet from her and she just brings it to her.
Hi. It's not really Lucy,
Don't
is it?
hi me.
What's her name again?
Her name is Lucy.
It is Lucy, okay.
Yeah, but you just know her as like Auntie Lou or yeah.
Hi, Auntie Lou.
Don't Auntie Lou me. You have to know how much trouble you're in. And I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. But no, you're not going to jail. Broken shoulders.
So what about that kid?
Sorry for laughing. I'm sorry.
That
Not funny.
Kid that I heard at school. And Joseph, he was shooting arrows at my friends.
I have a lot of questions about that. The last we saw of your brother, he was in Phalanstine. That said, I haven't seen him in many weeks. So this is all new information for us, sweetie.
What about the kid? Did I kill that kid at school? Is he okay?
Yes, he's fine.
He is?
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine, sweetie. Listen, what you need to worry about now is your own butt.
Well, what about Mom and Dad? Why did they send you to come get me?
Well, let's just say that your mother was in no shape to confront you directly, or she might have torn you in half. And your father, he has work obligations. and was unable to come himself. He asked me. It was a personal favor.
Is she related to the father or the mother?
Say again?
I'm just curious. Is she like a maternal aunt or?
She is related to your father.
That's what I was gonna say.
As a matter of fact, everyone on your father's side is a life steward. Everyone on your mother's side is a death steward.
I like that. I feel like, and I get a sense like maybe military prestige and like a mom's side money prestige. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, let's just say that.
Okay.
Actually, so you're saying that the father's side is more of a military prestige.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that your family's big business that you've always known them to be a part of, that has made them a shit ton of money. Like, your family is one of the richest families in this area, is fertilizer. And that is something that they have absolutely cornered the market on, to the point where other fertilizers that people buy for produce and the like, all over the country, it's almost as if no one really, like, it's July fertilizer or nothing. Like, it's...
You know what that fertilizer's going to be made up of, right?
Dead bodies? Dead mycelium men?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
So
well,
that is the July legacy.
Okay.
And let's just say that the Hollow legacy has also been within fertilizer. But do you remember when, this is a good example, do you remember when Whole Foods bought out Wild Oats as a company?
No. Okay.
So, for our viewers, Whole Foods and Wild Oats.
I remember.
They were at one point, basically, the Whole Foods was the #1 natural grocer in the world. But it is certainly in the United States. And then Wild Oats was #2. But that said, it was like Whole Foods, and then like Wild Oats was like way down here at #2. So they were like a very, very far second.
Yeah.
And that's what your father's legacy was. They were the #2 in fertilizer production, but it was like not even. It was sort of like sealing the deal on making sure that the July Corporation or the July company
Basically,
would never have any competition,
like a
ever.
monopoly,
Yes,
basically.
absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Well, just tell me, and also I have friends on this ship, and I want to go see them. I want to make sure they're okay, and
All due time.
And
all in due time.
There's 2 of them are dead. One of them was a friend of Dad's, and did you tell him that?
What was the last thing you
Friend
said?
of Dad's. Did you tell him that?
Well, I haven't had a chance to communicate with your father. Like I said, he's on a business trip. He's asked not to be disturbed. He sends his love.
Where are my friends?
Oh, they're fine. They're down in the commons. They got drunk last night. And
Kath got drunk?
wait, is Keth the monstrous one?
The really tall one.
The really I'm sorry. The orc.
Half orc, and
How is
I think
how is he running free?
is very beautiful.
I'm glad you think so. So you're friends with an orc now?
Yeah, and a guy who carries like chopping things, and Dad's wiener medicine. A guy who's not born a really weird lady who creeped me out, but I'm really sad that she might be dead. And oh no, he wasn't a friend. He tried to kill us. So, but yeah, I have friends now that aren't.
Sweetie, do you want me to find out if they're actually dead or not? I mean, they're likely dead. They dropped. I heard they.
You can find out.
Well, I can cast a divinatory spell and look into the.
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I'll prepare that tomorrow. I won't actually know now. But I will prepare that tomorrow and I will let you know.
Like, I want to whine about it.
You know these things take study and time. I just can't. And even the word time, you're like, oh, yeah! but yeah, she just. I listen.
Killed
You're
some things too. I killed some. I don't know if I would call them people. They had a lot of growths on them, and they didn't seem very humanoid. But I killed some.
Sweetie, it sounds like you've been through a harrowing ordeal. Do you want some chocolate pudding?
I guess not really. I just want to go see my friends. Are they okay?
They're fine. They're fine. They're in the common room. They just had a. Well, they're really not going anywhere until we land in Phalanstine. So yeah, they're in it for the long haul, like all of us flying on the Sky Specter.
You can bedroom and stuff, right?
Of course,
a bed to sleep in.
Of course I did, sweetie. Let me just say that they racked up a bill last night, and it's all taken care of. Bogenschultz said that they were your bodyguards, so I'm assuming that they're going to need to be paid, and I am also just kind enough to assume that they want to be treated like kings for perhaps once in their lives. Even the
What do you mean, once in their lives?
Well, look at them. I mean, come on. It's pretty obvious that they don't get this treatment all that often. You know, they're normal folk. They're not like us.
What are you trying to say, Auntie? Well, I'm not really like you either, am I? Not really.
Yeah. Well, you go ahead and believe that, sweetie. But the fact remains is that you can walk into any place in Phalanstine just about and declare your name, and I would guarantee you that whoever didn't put you up for the night would be dead the next day. So it's a little unrealistic to say that you're like them. I'm just being honest with you. Listen.
I'm not saying I've had it hard. I'm just saying that I don't look like you. That's all.
Looks
I just want to see them. Can I just go see them?
Looks are ephemeral, sweetie. It's about how you act and how you be.
I have less agency than I like.
Right, exactly. You can
to
go see them anytime you want. We just wanted you to get a good night's rest before you had this discussion. And really, the more difficult discussion is going to be with your mother.
Where is she?
Well, you'll find out in about 2 days, because that's when we're going to hit Phalanstine. Enjoy yourself. The Sky Specter is a luxury compared to.
Okay. You didn't get so far. I just jumped out.
I'm gonna go find.
She calls forth another mage hand, and it refills her whiskey.
Okay, you might want to get maintenance on my door. It's jammed.
Jammed.
I don't know how it got jammed.
Oh, sure. I'll get back. I'll get on that. And actually, she looks over and she sees Blake looking at the handle as you say it's jammed, and he's just looking back like, what the fuck just happened? So Blake is definitely the kinder of the two cousins, but ultimately they've always bullied you and caused you a bit of grief.
Yeah.
Blake's the smart one.
So he knows to he's not necessarily nicer. He just knows to not push it too much, like to not let his.
But he also knows which buttons to push.
Yeah. More psychological.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go find my friends. This little chick can follow me.
Wait, who?
Blake.
Do you invite him to follow you? Because he's not near you.
No.
He's next to the door.
No, I do not.
No, she's asking if he's gonna follow.
Well, as you're walking towards the door, I'm gonna send Bogenschultz with you just so that you can get through the barriers.
I don't have permissions to get through the barriers?
Oh, no, sweetie, not at this point. Your privileges have been revoked.
Because of the stuff that's coming out of me?
No, because you ran away from home and now you're pretty much on no privilege restriction.
Grounded.
Yeah, you're grounded at this point.
In the sky.
Fucking doorknob's been melted! The doorknob's been what?
Okay, Bogey, let's go.
Oh, right away, Spartacus. and you guys go down and you hear distantly melted, and then you go down, and you get to it's been the report that they are residing in the Commons 1 area. That's where we're going.
Okay, Commons 1. Sounds good. Is there a difference in the Commons and what I know about that?
Just in the entertainment.
What is the different entertainment?
Just the different bards that they hire to entertain the different levels, but otherwise it's
like
it's
different genres,
identical.
like Enya level, like Bruce Springsteen level.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. You would never find Ferg on the Bruce Springsteen level.
Commons
So
5.
you'd be on the Enya level?
Commons 5 is like Linkin Park, super obnoxious, you know.
Yeah, Ferg's definitely on the Enya level.
Okay.
Yeah, you go past 5 first, and it's like, you know.
So it gets a little like more intense. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Ferg grew up in the library.
So you're like.
Sorry, no love for Linkin Park.
So you got like music, like he actually soothes you because it.
Well, I mean, our life for the first 25 years was pretty quiet and void of music, unless somebody was actually performing. Because,
And Commons 1. You step off onto the platform. You see all of the normal concierges as they are. You pass through a various amount of passengers that, quite frankly, don't even notice that you're there. And they actually more react to Bogenschultz as Bogey kind of like goes through the aisles. Hello. Greetings. Hello. Hi. Hello.
I'm like kind of running up to Kev, who's probably
and as you start running, hello. Hi. Hello. Greetings. Hello. Hi. Just trying to keep up with you.
and we're sitting in this windowed alcove, just like taking in the view from the airship.
You are hung the fuck over.
We're eating an omelet. I'm introducing Kath to the joys of day after breakfast.
Oh my god, this made me so hungry. Y'all scenes are making me so hungry.
I like food in real life, and Kath is.
I also like food in real life.
Yeah.
And Kath likes food in game.
Yeah. So there's like bacon and sausage and French toast and omelet but Ferg's just sitting there drinking a cup of tea, like nibbling on a piece of toast.
And I like go to throw like I hug you and you're like you try to be
I'm like
nice
super
about
stoked
it.
even though I'm hungover. I'm still excited.
I like go like move to hug you and
Ferg just hands you a piece of toast.
And I just take it and I sit down and I'm like, so are you okay? Like, did you sleep good? Like, did you eat a bunch of
we're
food?
fine. How did they find you?
Master Ferg, it's a pleasure to see you.
Hi.
Master Kath, it's a pleasure to see you.
How did you talk to your aunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did they find you?
I don't know.
What?
I didn't even think to ask that.
Why not?
Excuse me, how did they find us? Sparkus?
That is not information that I am privileged to divulge.
Do you know?
Yes, I do.
Is Spartacus allowed to know?
Not at this time. Spartacus is, for lack of a better term, grounded.
Kid.
Oh,
You gotta ask
Sparky.
questions.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Mess.
You didn't do anything wrong.
One of the things that you must know
I'm just
about...
glad you're okay, kid.
One of the things that you must know about the July family is that because of the prestige of the family, there are consequences when one runs away and they are 13 years old. You can understand that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
I mean,
what to do.
intellectually, I've read about it.
As you do.
Oh yeah, actually, can maybe.
Well, what's gonna happen when we get to Phalanstine?
Does Ferg know like anything about like punishments? I asked, do you know what? Like,
Oh,
what
you've read a
happened
lot
today?
about Phalanstine punishments, but you doubt any of them would apply to like royal blood, so to speak, or connected kin.
Your mom's gonna like rip you a new one, but I mean, you're a July, so.
Well,
Go ahead and roll a knowledge history about what you know about the Julys. And by the way, anyone can do that, even you. And I'm asking you to roll this. You can roll at advantage too, because you're part of the family. But you're also really young, and so you're not really that interested in family history.
I'm not that interested. Yeah.
But even though you're not very interested, you are part of the family, so you can roll at advantage if you like.
Okay.
What'd you get?
I got probably a +1. I got a 6. No, I got a 5.
A 5. You know nothing.
I got a 10.
Why
I
would
got
I
a
know?
12 plus what? No, nothing.
A 12?
Yeah.
Okay. So really it's funny that Ferg knows pretty much exactly what you do, and you're part of the family, which is hilarious. The July conglomeration was for decades known as the July Company until Angelica July, eldest of Hayes and Costa July, wed the eldest son of the Hollow family, Brutus, a talented and well-spoken life steward. With such a union, the Julys absorbed the Hollow's network of life stewards across much of the Terra Sentia. They specialize in selling fertilizer and are the area's main supplier of such. So we've pretty much kind of covered a lot of that, except for like some of the grandparents' names, Hayes and Costa. But you do know that they have a rich and lengthy history that probably stretches back to sort of some kind of a connection to not only the mycolog, but also like the dwarves and the elves.
Like the first humans.
Yeah. So
yeah, I would have read the superficial stuff, but not delved into the family history.
Right.
Because it's like at that point it's like world history. So.
Well, the other thing just kind of on a superficial level is like the July family. They're necromancers through and through. Whether they're on the life side or the death side, they are very much like kind of obsessed with necromancy, and it doesn't surprise you that they're in the fertilizer business. They probably use their skills to enhance fertilizers of dead things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and
dead things in general.
yeah, it's never been. I mean, certainly never been like proven that they're like
Using orcs as fertilizer?
orcs or any sort of like humanoids. It's mostly just animals, and also like just they have like huge composting programs.
Never
and that
been
kind of thing.
proven.
But
That
yeah,
is exactly what Bill said.
yeah. I mean, listen. There's a bunch of conspiracy theorists, conspiracies
I'm good.
surrounding it, but ultimately, like that's just not what anyone has ever discovered. No one has hard facts on like the July family being these like weird, creepy, like killing things for fertilizer. Like that's just ridiculous. Fake news.
I wouldn't say they're killing things for fertilizer. They're using the fertilizer as a cover-up for having to take care of people.
Garbage, yeah.
Oh, I have a convenient way of hiding bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reading breakfast.
How did you sleep?
Fine.
Yeah.
Your beds are nice. I've slept in better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Not feeling the best this morning.
They
Got a
are
little party last night.
better than average.
What was
Yes,
it
I
like?
would
I've
agree.
never
Yeah.
been drunk.
I'm just glad you had
It's
one
not
that
fun.
fit
I will
him
not do it
Was
because
it
again.
fun?
he's fucking
What did
huge.
you do when you were drunk?
Did you get an
Oscar?
adequate
You
breakfast?
didn't tell me.
Yeah, I'm
Serenade
fine.
for an
I'm seeing what
adventure.
he's gonna work through.
I
I'll probably
miss
nibble on a
that.
couple other
Kath?
things.
Did you get an adequate breakfast?
I think I ate as much as I could today.
Oh, Kath, you gotta try like
I'll
that
take that if
particular
you want.
sausage patty.
Kat grabs one and tries it.
I do love a
Would-
good sausage.
Would you like to eat some with us?
Say again?
Would you like to eat some with us?
I have already eaten.
So the one that I told
know,
you
I
to eat
appreciate it, sweetie.
was mix of rabbit and like turkey thigh with mushrooms and like,
Jerk
caramelized
chicken.
shallots.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just made that up. But I was like, what kind of sausage would Ferg be like? Oh, you have to try that one.
I love rabbit.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, thanks, Bogey. I'm gonna hang out with my friends now.
Okay, I will be right here.
So are we heading out of Phalanstine or are we heading back in
We're
Phalanstine?
heading into Phalanstine. We will be there in less than 2 days at this point.
Less than 2 days. So lunch day after tomorrow.
Thereabouts, yes.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that there's a place on this ship that we can acquire some? What are those mushrooms that we found?
Oh, devil's fingers? Oh.
Acquire some devil's fingers
I-
or some healing potions of that type. We seem to be
they have
running into
devil's
some
fingers.
sticky situations recently.
Healing potions, absolutely. We have those in the marketplace on Common 3. It's one of the only levels in which there is a difference. Devil's Fingers, no, we do not have any of those. They're more rare than you would think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whisper to Kath. I lost my dagger. You know the one that kept like shocking me.
Have you tried asking anybody about it?
No.
When was the last time you remember
I should
having
probably
it?
just ask Bogey.
Did you have it when we came onto the ship last night?
Yeah, it was glowing and stuff.
Bogey friend. Have you happened to see a
Please
glowing...
call me by my full name.
What's the full name again?
Bogenstein.
Bogenstein, sorry.
That's
No.
incorrect. It's Bogenschultz.
Bogenschultz. Bogey Schultzy. Bogenschultz.
Bogenschultz.
I'm
Good
here to serve.
good friend.
I'm just going to call you Bogey Schultz.
I wouldn't say we're quite friends yet, but I do like you, Kath.
Semantics, I apologize. I was just curious. Sorry, I'm a little short after having drunk so much last night.
You do seem a little off.
Yes.
Have some more sausage and coffee. You'll be fine.
Ferg, what was I gonna ask again?
This is very entertaining, by the way.
I don't know,
Where my
but
dagger is.
Oh, right, the dagger. Have you seen a glowing dagger? Sparky had one on her person yesterday and cannot seem to acquire it or find it today.
are you fucking kidding me, Sparky? You lost your knife?
Oh,
I had it when I went to bed.
she didn't lose it. It was taken from her.
Well, where was it taken to?
Your cousin Blake now has acquired it.
Alright, so where's this Blake
Where's
kid?
this
Because we're
Blake
getting
kid?
it back.
We're her bodyguards. It's our job to acquire her things. For
I'm
her.
sorry, but where Blake is, that is not possible for you to go. There is a force field preventing you from entering.
Can you take us to him?
Absolutely not.
Is there a way to get Blake to come down here?
I can
You
take
did
care of
promise
this.
no violence.
Well, we won't be violent. We're just gonna get the dagger
Don't
back.
worry.
I promise.
I should have known.
No violence.
I
Your
should've-
cousin is a piece of shit.
Language, please.
No.
Yeah, I would agree.
I admit you did not agree to that, so I will accept your no.
Those were not the terms.
All I said was I wouldn't hurt anyone.
I can take care of this. But do you need anything? Are you okay? Like, what do you wanna go to the marketplace and I'll go get my knife back from my stupid cousin?
All due respect. For as much as your friends are covered under your name in terms of food and beverages, healing potions will not be available to them unless they are using their own monetary means.
Oh, I have plenty of money. We're fine.
Fantastic.
They can't have a few healing potions?
No.
How much are healing potions worth anyway? That's what I never...
Potions of healing are 50 gold pieces each,
Okay.
and if you require a greater version, one that is far more effective, it is 200 each.
I may be a little short. I might have to... I don't think they're going to let me work on the ship, so we might have to wait till we get
We
to
have all
town.
the labor we need.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't talking about
I
that.
want to get us some money. I want to get one of the cousins, and I want my fucking knife back.
Okay. So you have goals for next session, because this is where we're stopping.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, we really need to find out what happened to Simon.
I know.
But like, I don't know what to do. We're like on an airship now.
You have to
we're in
find out what happened to who.
Oh,
And nobody's
Timing.
nobody's
Before we
talking to
end,
us.
I am. So my auntie is gonna do what did you call it?
She's gonna use some kind of divinatory
Like-
sort of spell.
My auntie's gonna find out if Time and Ren are dead, but not till like tomorrow.
Okay.
And like tears
fair.
are welling up in her eyes as she just says
Hey,
that.
kid.
I'm sorry. That's
We're on this ship so tomorrow's fine.
Yeah.
I don't.
They're resourceful. It might be better than we're all thinking.
I don't know if I can stay here. I'm not gonna ask you all to come with me, but I don't know if I can.
I wonder if they have any potions of slow fall in the market.
Maybe I should pick.
Or
You mean
any scroll-
Featherfall?
Featherfall, yeah.
I could pick Featherfall.
Oh, you're fine. I don't even know how high. We might even be high up enough that it would like wear off before we got to the ground.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
kind
Well,
of.
last 10 minutes or is last a minute?
That's a minute.
A minute.
Fall to the. I mean, you'd have to be pretty high up for it to take over a minute to fall.
Well, but it's feather fall, so you fall at like a reduced rate of like
that's
so
true.
many feet
Okay.
per second.
It's sort of one of those things where like parachuting, you let go and you let go and you let go and you're free falling, and then if you decide to like drink it, then it takes effect. So you can actually free fall for quite some time
That's
before
true.
you feather fall. And
Have you been skydiving?
oh, I've been skydiving. Yeah,
But those are probably
It's
going to be
pretty
more
fast.
expensive than.
Pretty fast.
it's super fast.
I just assume an airship would have something like that, like some kind of like parachute-esque type thing that we can acquire
Right.
if
Yeah.
we try. If you like really don't want to be here anymore,
If we
like,
have to bust out Sparky.
just
Yeah.
fucking jump ship. Like we just have to figure out a way to do
That's
it.
where I'm thinking right now.
I mean, we could always steal one of the smallest
We're your
ones,
bodyguards,
throw
we're done.
downstairs.
Well, some things to think
We're gonna
about
get some
for next
provisions.
session is so there's 5 common areas. So just in terms of like just like solid interaction and mingling, there's a lot of opportunity to like to hobnob with certain guests. Lots of people to get to know. Another thing to consider is that the security on this Zeppelin is insane. So the idea that you would potentially get off the ship in order to like drink a potion of Featherfall and drop is you guys are instinctively knowing that that's like much harder than you would think.
Oh no, it'd be
yeah.
like Mission Impossible, like level planning.
Right.
And we like break a window and jump from the side, like where no one would expect us
Right.
to.
The third thing is that you do. I mean, like obviously, like the connection to like Sparky on the ship is like a distinct advantage. So
Yeah.
there's that. And then the fourth thing is that your auntie Lucy, has said that she will find out tomorrow whether or not your friends are dead via divination. So like whether you want to wait for that or not is.
So we're arriving at Phalanstine tomorrow.
No, day after tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so,
tomorrow.
okay.
So we have a day after she tells us, and then we can decide if we're gonna jump ship or not.
And time to plan.
Yeah, if she tells us at lunch, we've got 35 hours. Yes.
Okay. Not impossible though.
Mission impossible.
I would say definitely not impossible. Nothing's impossible.
Okay. I need to know more about this Zeppelin.
Well,
I feel like I should know some more. Okay.
I'm just saying, there's gotta be
I
some
have
kind of
my-
backup if you can like.
well,
pull
think
out
about all the questions you want to ask me for next week, and if you think about it and you're willing to like write me an email, write me those questions so that I can prepare ahead of time, because that's always great.
Yeah, your character might know more than.
I kind of feel like Sparky wouldn't actually know that much about a Zeppelin. She's just like...
No, not about the Zeppelin, just about like the general like culture and like.
And just the layout maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Like if she's
not
been there
like how it
before.
works and stuff, but like I feel like I've had run of the ship like this before I got in trouble.
I doubt they would let you pass the common areas.
I mean, if I was chaperoned by Bogey or something, I just might have probably like been in and around.
Yeah.
So, points of interest. Your auntie's divination. Blake's got your dagger.
Blake's got your dagger.
Oh yeah.
Money for potions, theoretically. That was a.
Yeah, can Ferg find somebody to...
Yeah, is there a way to like do some kind of like trade with people?
I
know what kind of trade you do, but I mean in general. I could think of something like, can I go like cook something for somebody, or like share some recipes or something with somebody?
This is like
I know it's super
4 Michelin stars, which they don't even give.
That's fair.
You'll have some luck, but
yeah, I wouldn't have luck, but
Yeah, I mean,
feel like Keth would still try.
Rich elves are rich elves. Just have they been to Taman Kaipunki and heard of me?
yeah.
How would they have heard
At
of you?
least
Pit fighter.
Pit on the pit fighting level?
Yeah, and also in the
I feel
prostitute
like,
level.
yeah.
Okay.
What Ferg's gotten around. Ferg's reputation has gotten further.
So Ferg has a
You just have
reputation.
to stay quietly.
That's good to know.
While,
How do you think
Fergus
Fergus has
takes
all
care
this
of
money?
business.
I'll just go do something else. I'll go hang out with people or like learn a game.
I feel like you should find like a way
Maybe
to
go play
like, find
Stones with
something
people.
out that could be like part of like our escape plan.
Oh yeah, I should go find out like about like the parachute and stuff like that.
Because we were talking about that earlier, like how far, like would Ferg's reputation extend to Rosax, or would it be harder for them to make money?
Yeah, and I'm it's that kind of thing is just now sinking in for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
A different guy.
But I feel like in a human city like Phalanstine.
Right.
No, it was just like the very end, and there was like nobody waiting, and he's like, "Oh, what's the surname?" And I said Helder, and then he's like HELDR, DER, and I was like, "Yeah," and then he just like did this.
I think that one's actually way more.
I know.
That's
I kind of wish
like,
I had gotten him to write like both of them
yeah,
after I saw
more
this.
old-timey.
I liked it a lot.
Okay,
That's
that's good.
prettier.
I just had to write down some like
pretty too,
reminders
it's just
for.
more, like I feel like that's a font that I would see, and this is not like this would be. More.
Also, he did his so.
Thank you for joining us.
Perfect.
You're the best. See you next week.
That was fun.